Well, this is why we can't have nice things. But if you inhale deep enough, it kind of makes you dizzy.
When you're driving your old truck down the road, can you turn your wheel like this and it do nothing? Well, on this episode of Full Blast Garage, we're going to try and fix that on the old Dodge. So stay tuned while we get this thing steering, hopefully, closer to like it should. All right. So our main issue on our Dodge is located right here. So your square body boys might be wondering what we're looking at, but just envision Dodge took your kind of coupler looking joint right here and flipped it. You know, Chevy's got the rag joint down here. Dodge has it somewhere kind of in the middle, but this joint right here is troublesome. So you can spin this guy inside this joint and it does nothing to the steering gear. Lots of movement, lots and lots of movement. So what we're gonna do is find a fix for this to the rag joint. This is gonna be our trouble area. Well, you might be asking how we're gonna do this repair on this truck. You know, some people go through the trouble of rebuilding the insides of that little coupler, and I've just read stories where it doesn't work. You know, 6 months later, you're back into it, rebuilding it. So what can we do? It's permanent. Just gonna repair it. We ain't ever gotta think about it again. And that's where the old Borgeson shaft comes into play. The Chevy guys have been upgrading, you know, their trucks for years with like Jeep Cherokee parts, you know, because they got the little U-jointed shafts here on each side. But really, all we need to repair is from the little rubber coupler down to the shaft. We need to delete that part at the end that just has all the free play in it. And this guy, I think the part number's 940, I believe. I can link it in the description. This is kind of meant for these Dodges, and it extends, has varying lengths. And what we'll do is remove the old one, pop this guy in its place, then we'll road test it, see how much play we've deleted. I'm guessing a lot, because that thing, you can just feel all kinds of slop in there, and a little bit of slop right there at your steering wheel is going to be magnified. So any little bit of play, when it's actually at your wheel, you're going to feel more. So let's go ahead, jump in, start prying that old one off. We're going to put this old truck on full blast. Make sure you do it on full blast. All right, so step one, we got to get this roll pin out. Not exactly sure how tight this thing's gonna be in here. Or, oh, this might not be the punch for the job. It's going through it. Might have to, uh-oh. Might be in a pickle. Thinking we might have to tap it from the other side. I might have totally jammed the punch in there. We'll get it out. All right, found the right tool. Got this roll pin out. That's step one. So I ended up having to use this guy from the top and just kind of angle it where it's just catching the edge of this roll pin. It's kind of able to beat it out. I mean, if you guys can't tell, this thing is heavily rusted. So dealing with that, trying to get things loose, not the funnest always. She's out, and then let's go ahead and
pull our rag joint, and then we'll start prying this thing off the gearbox. All right, see if we can break rag joint loose here. We just got 2 bolts. You don't want to take the thing all the way off. Just, oop, might have to lock the steering column. Just the part that's connected to the bottom joint. Should lock eventually. There we go. Not super tight. Shouldn't be. Oh, let's see if we can neutral drop it. Your other bolt will be straight across. Just see if I can loosen it. I mean, those definitely not 100% straight. Let me just put this one bolt in for a second, because I don't want to get this thing off center. Tear up my rag joint here. So our steering wheel center, man, it's probably as close as our tires are gonna get. Just trying to keep it in the ballpark. So that guy's free now. Now we just gotta pry on the bottom, get it off the splines. All right, got my pry bar in here. We do have the rolling pin out. See if we can break it loose. We might need bigger pry bar. Who knows? There's a real good chance this guy's rusted on real tight. Some taps might persuade it to come off. Maybe, maybe not. The joys of working on old, rusty junk. All right, I'm gonna have to get a bigger pry bar. Come out. I might actually have to remove the entire rag joint. So there's not really a good way for me to get this thing out of here. Let me see. So when I'm prying on this, I'm gonna need more space than what I have up here to be able to get it out. I think I got it. Somewhat. All right, after prying up on it, then just literally kind of wiggling this guy back and forth, I think I was able, oh, might have to do it from the top. There we go. She's loose. And this is really the part we're dealing with that's just got so much slack and wobble in it. And this thing is pretty toast. So we'll go ahead get our new part set up, start sliding it on, get it installed. So there's one item you're gonna have to test fit, and that's your splines here on your joint on the steering box. And you have to get it on there, then pull her back off, because you're gonna need to mark. And I will show you guys that. So here, as you slide this shaft onto your steering box, there's a set screw that you're gonna have to come in, flatten you a spot where that set screw imprints on this gear, just so it has something to lock to. And that's really it. I'm gonna get to kind of mashing this thing on here, get it fully seated, and then tighten her down, and we'll get out our grinder. All right, I put a little flat spot. Put a little flat spot here on the splines, got the set screw tightened down. All these other ones are already tight from the factory. And when we're done putting the rag joint back on, we tighten this little metallic little slider collar. They want it at the bottom of the rubber boot. So wherever that guy ends up, you got to put it there. Now, tighten up our rag joint. Remember, we loosened one of the other screws to get the previous joint off. So you gotta remember, tighten that guy back up too. So when I get this tightened down, then I'll do that metal collar. This guy walked out. All right. And we got the one on the back here that we need to tighten back down. Might have to turn the wheel for that. Kind of can't see. Well, maybe. All right, did it blind and got it. Maybe. Maybe just put it out the way it came in. All right, Borgeson shaft installed. Almost done. Let's go ahead and slide this metal collar up here. Trying to figure out where there's one slot on it where there's a set screw in it. Much easier to view from the bottom here. Just go ahead and tighten her down. I guess that is like a limiter to how much this thing can collapse. All right, do we have positive steering? She moves. Wow, I can already tell. I instantly see the tires move. Instantly. That's a good sign. Now we got a couple other things I want to do. One being, I want to install a steering stabilizer bar, get that done, and might call it a day. I don't know just how I'm feeling, but I got shocks for the car and it needs them desperately. Like these ones that are on it are so blown, but just don't know if I got time to do all that. Kind of running a little late today, but let's go ahead and at least get the stabilizer on. And that'll help the steering on this thing quite a bit. All right. If you've never had to install one of these guys, then you've probably never lifted or driven a four-wheel drive truck that had big old mud tires on it. So these guys will dampen your steering quite a bit and just help with how bad the wandering and everything is once you get just giant tires on your rig. So these aren't that bad. These are 33-inch tires. But doesn't matter. It's old steering, mud grip style tires. It needs all the help it can get. This is really your first step. Just putting this bracket here over the axle. Well, those might not be the right washers. All right, so it's the bigger washers. And all this stuff's going to be lock nuts. So you can kind of run them in a little bit by hand, but not a whole lot. Let's see. And they don't give you a ton of thread here, Skyjacker. My axle tubes on this truck are not insanely big either. I think it's got to be the angle we're working with here. Hopefully this thing will give just a tiny bit when we go to tighten down. There ain't a whole lot of thread on these guys. And you kind of want this, if I remember correctly, pretty parallel with the ground. Yes. This other guy, it's gonna go out this way. Ugh. If I can give myself some room. To your steering. The steering on this car is not helped by the fact that this guy is bent a hair. It's definitely hit something and kind of pushed it back. From what I can tell, it does not look like a factory bend, if you ask me. Looks like there was an impact. I could be wrong, but I'd say she's got a wobble in her. From, I don't know, taking a ditch, culvert, hitting a tree stump. That's probably what it was. Driving through a field, hitting something that you can't see is kind of hidden by the grass. Totally dropped the washer on top of the axle and it didn't fall off. Luckily, it's totally black from being leaked on for years, and the bright silver washer stood out really well. And all this stuff, it's kind of like a mock-up, I would say, because you're going to need to extend your cylinder on your stabilizer. Once you got the thing bolted up, you kind of set your distance for halfway throw when you're at, wheel center. All right, so first on this guy, I have to open some bags here. Multiple bags. All right. So the part that extends is going to be the part that you bolt in the middle. So going on first, metal looks like a shock washer. Bushing, flat end goes up against that washer. Goes through brackets. Bushing, flat end going away from the shock. You want the kind of little machine surface looking part to go towards the bracket. Washer. and then nut. So we can already tell we're gonna need to adjust our distances. It's the same thing on this side. Washer, bushing, go through the bracket. Bushing, washer, nut. This thing, you're gonna have to angle her down a hair. We are pretty close to impacting. Ugh. Probably need to angle it, slide her a little too if we can. Might not be possible with how tight these bolts are. It'll spin. All right. We got quite a ways we can extend this thing. Ooh, too much. Too much. Just want to give it a hair of room. Now, what do we say we need to extend this guy? 4 7/16. So just about 4.5 inches. So I'm extending it. I'm gonna measure. So, wow, we are dialed. Man, I'm good. Exactly on the money where we need to be. So I'm gonna take my wrench, tighten everything down, just hit it with the impact. I don't know if these guys are 1/2 inch or 9/16. 9/16. Hit everything with the impact. Then we'll cycle the steering, make sure nothing is coming into contact or binding. Well, the smaller guys are actually 1/2 inch. All right. I'm going to kind of do a crisscross. Get all our brackets tightened down. Then I'll do the cylinder. Oh, man. The tie rods are so smoked on this truck. Definitely gonna have to replace on those. Be calling O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Big question is 1984 Dodge. Will they be in stock? I'm almost guessing no, but who knows? I could be wrong. All right, just gonna keep tightening stuff up. Call O'Reilly's too. That'll be fun. Tie rod job, but it's got to be done. All right, I kind of redid my clamp here. I realized before I started tightening anything down that there's a brake line on that axle sitting on it. And that would be why the bolt didn't want to go in the bracket very far. So don't tighten your stabilizer on top of a brake line. That'd be a real sad day for you when you got no front brakes, or too much front brakes, or one or the other. So always take a look at that. All right. That seems pretty tight. Now we just gotta tighten up our ends here. You just want to smash the bushings down. You don't have to go crazy tight. Oop, knocked my light down. All right. Should be tight, shouldn't hear any noises, anything like that. And you got a steering stabilizer installed. Oh, crap, I forgot the bellows. All right. Let me put the shock boot on. You know what? Second thought, I'm going to leave that off. I don't really want that giant red thing showing. And I've ran them in the past without them, and it's been fine. This thing's not going to be off-roaded. If you're off-roading heavy, definitely put your shock boot on. This thing is going to be on the road and the 1 mile dirt road back to my house, but we ain't wheeling it. Well, let's try and throw some grease in these tie rods. They don't necessarily click like crazy, like going back and forth, left, right, like they have a ton of play, but these guys flop. Yeah, look at that. That's way too floppy for my liking, but I'll just shoot grease in the other one just so maybe it doesn't fall out immediately. All right. Did we accomplish anything working on the truck today? The back and forth motion, those tie rods, a little concerning. Greased them. We'll see if that has helped anything. I mean, initial impressions, it's tighter. And the truck's very cold right now, but man, it drives so much better now with the carb. All right. So we do have instant input. Yes. And as long as the tie rods hold on while I'm doing these low speed turns, we should be okay to drive. So the dirt's one thing. Let's see what happens when we go over the tracks. Do we have a train coming, or? These guys leave these things down while they're doing maintenance all the time. It's all right. We'll just cruise on by them. All right. Steering, much improved. We probably need an alignment. Man, brakes aren't darting. That's mainly the part that would kind of scare you driving it a little bit, because the steering was so loose. You'd hit the brakes, you'd get a little bit of, the wheels would cock one way or the other, whichever way they wanted to go, and you'd kind of get a little brake darting.
And I think, I mean, she's one hand on the wheel, and we're keeping it on the road. I mean, it's actually kind of, man, it takes way less input than before. You're gonna have to get used to driving it like this. Before, you were kind of steer wrestling it all the way down the road. So, kind of wide open road here. Man, I'm happy with it. We'll do tie rods one day, but until we get some side-to-side action, I'm not very concerned. All the action's kind of front to back loose. Side to side, you don't hear any clicking or anything, so. Man, we got a truck that'll go down the road now. Not terrify you. Try not to leak too much oil in the fancy house places parking lot. We got 80 miles on the odometer now. Just about broke in. Now we just about broke the gas tank. I don't know if you guys are super familiar with these Dodges, but they're plastic tanks and they get brittle, and the gas tank never leaked until I filled it up the first time, and she split a little bit on the bottom, and I'm kind of just waiting for it to get low enough where it's not actively dripping. I'm gonna try some JB Weld patch on it. We'll see if that stuff holds. I've had, some luck with it working, some luck with it not, so. Much better driving experience. I would actually trust a human other than myself to get in it and drive it. Woo. Got to slow down a little. Back to the shop. Well, I guess since we're here, we got a little time. Let's go ahead and do some shocks. Y'all know the routine. Oop. Heat them up and break them off. Not bad. Will you come out of the socket? Finally. Same thing up top. Break it loose. She should come off. Man, Dodge had the shocks right on these, man. So much easier.
got to kind of, I guess, do the top a little bit, do the bottom a little bit, because they're going to hit the leaf spring here. All right. Let's see. How smoked is she? Oh my God. Look at that. No rebound. No rebound at all. You can barely, it's hard to pull it apart. Yeah, those things were smoked. All right, back on the same way they came off. So, I think you have to hang this guy on the bottom. There's no way. You got to hang it on the bottom, pivot it. After you cut it here, release it. All right, get it on there. All right, there we go. Put our little washer back on. It looks like it came from the bottom of the ocean. Put our nut up top. Our nut right here on the bottom. Of course, these are KYBs from RockAuto. And again, you just want to tighten these till the bushings start to kind of squish down. You don't have to go crazy. There we go. Shock installed. It's a little concerning. The bodies of the shocks are so different. The size of them. This guy's got 4 times the size as the other one, but I mean, the amount of shocking that this was doing, I'm sure this guy's going to do more. So, not entirely concerned, but that's how you do the front. Super easy. All right, so the back shocks somehow look worse. No, come on. This thing ain't got... All right, go get the impact. All right. This guy ain't gonna say please. Yep, I had a feeling it'd give up. This one up here is insanely rusty. And if you're asking why I'm not using the torch, because we got the active gas leak in front of us. Didn't even need the backup. I thought I was gonna have to. We might just feed that guy on. So I am gonna have to beat the bolt back through and go get a rubber mallet, take care of that. Nope. We're gonna have to hit it from the other side. Hit it from the other side and hopefully she backs out. Is it a 3/4? Yes. All right. Now I do have to get the nut out. Oh, fun. All right, come on, brake line, work with me here. Definitely not wanting to back out. So much crap falling down in my eyes. Well. I'm gonna have to, I don't know. I don't really want to beat on that thing with the nut on it even. Don't make the threads any worse than they already are. Kind of surprised the thing didn't want to back out when we were turning it out. Not a good angle. All right. We're gonna have to regroup. Wow, my punch is so bent. I'm gonna have to get a real punch. All right. This thing, this side's wiggling, but the part with the head is not, I guess. Why are you not removing yourself? Don't want to do that. Man, who said this was going to be easy? Oh my God. Why are the angles so bad in here? Ugh. Finally, broke free. Hopefully I didn't destroy the threads. I think this thing was frozen kind of inside the shock. I think the bolt. And that was our issue. Roll through the gasoline there, that's nice. Okay, that's as easy as it is, folks. Nothing to it. I mean, even the shock down here doesn't want to come off. There we go. There. Break free. Wow. All right. So, this thing, this truck has to have a lift on it, right? There's no way these shocks are right. Okay, so that's on there, on the bottom. Now on the top, I kind of have it wedged. So when I move it off here, it's gonna extend. Trying to get it lined up immediately. Man, this shock definitely has quite a bit of force. Oh, there we go. So, washer on the bottom. Go there. Bolt up top. Are we spinning on the back? Yes. I think that's probably good enough for her. All right. Rear shocks, or one, is installed. So let's check. I mean, this guy, I think she rebounded some. No. Nope. Totally smoked. Let's see. Yeah. Totally collapsed. Not doing anything. Not rebounding at all. Well, This is why we can't have nice things. But if you inhale deep enough, it kind of makes you dizzy. Well, that's where we're going to leave the old Dodge, right there. We got new shocks, new steering shaft. Man, that thing's night and day. Way better. What else did we do to this thing? Got the steering stabilizer. That's a Skyjacker unit, universal. So any of you guys with four-wheel drive should be able to use it on the front with steering connected to the axle. So we got stabilizer, steering shaft, new shocks. So what we found out, tie rods are questionable. You can rock these guys back and forth pretty freely, and that's probably a pretty good indication they're just about gone. But you twist the tires side to side, there's no side to side motion. So they're not totally smoked, but that's a good indication. You might as well go ahead and replace those. So some point in the future, I probably won't even record it. This guy's getting tie rods, and then, man, our gas tank just keeps leaking. And I know you Dodge guys, you run into this a lot. I've had a few of these trucks. Every single one of them had a split somewhere on it. Most of the time, I got it on the top, which for repair wise, easiest to repair, but you got to drop the tank. My crack is on the very bottom, so I guess I got to wait till it essentially runs itself dry, because putting that, you know, epoxy goo stuff right over the top of like something that's soaked in petroleum, probably not going to seal. The grease is going to act as like a barrier, the oil inside the gasoline. So I'm gonna have to wait on that. You know, I have the stuff to do it. I'm just gonna JB weld it and send it, see what happens. But, you know, these are like the little things you need to do to your ride to maintain it, make it way more streetable. Especially, this is barn find. This was $1,300 to my door. Like literally, the guy dropped it off right here. We backed it off the trailer here, and man, it's not far from, you know, a fixed gas tank, being able to just drive it every day. And I haven't put a ton of money into this. This has been budget oriented. The carburetor, you know, is 300 and something bucks used, rebuilt, and the gauges were like $850, $900. That's a big ticket item for anybody working on something. Did I have to do it? No, but I've watched videos and I've messed with Dodge gauges in the past, got them working, and then 3 weeks later they stop again. So I kind of wanted to just jump past all those steps of fiddling and troubleshooting and working, not working, and just get something I know that's going to work. So did that, and that's kind of where I'm going to leave it. We're about to drive the tires off this thing. I don't have like a truck anymore that really is kind of freeway ready for hauling parts, and here she be. Next stop, I'm going to Brenham, where I got all the GTOs. The last one, we're going to cut it up and put all the parts that I want to take in the back here. So putting it to work already. But I want to appreciate y'all, let y'all know that I appreciate you for watching these videos. And if you could like, comment, subscribe. Any interaction with the channel helps us a bunch. We're a super small channel, but we're growing, and the interactions really help us with YouTube and the algorithm and space, time, continuum. I think that's how that works. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, and thank you for helping me out. Hope you enjoyed the video. And until you see me again, just go out, do something that makes you happy, but make sure you're doing it on full blast. I'll see y'all later.